Our three heroes took it upon themselves to travel into the Dwarven mine and look for treasure or technology or knowledge that could potentially help them in trying to free the town of Grispen Hills from the clutches of a group of bandits that have come into town demanding protection money and cuts of what they found and beating up anyone who gave them any sort of flack. When you left the town, you had just left after confronting a couple of these bandits and sending them packing through the use of some clever spells. Now here in the mine, you found yourself careening down a cart rail until finally crashing into an obstruction, a place where there had been a big cave-in in the tunnel. You worked through a various magical means and physical means to clear enough of the obstruction up in the top corner that you could be able to crawl through. Artemis did a quick detect magic and sensed something pass through the sphere of your detection, but wasn't able to determine what it was. So crawling through, you found yourself in a larger cavern that had these dull glowing crystals, kind of an orangey brownish color. I almost think of like that color from the 80s, like everybody's grandmother's, kind of sofas and everything. It kind of has that feel to it. But you weren't alone. As coming out from the corner, crawling along the ceiling with these long bladed metal arms, some sort of construct that was glowing from inside, it attacked you all and started spewing fire down upon you from some sort of internal stove or furnace. Now, you did battle with it, and in doing so, started yo-yoing party members up and down out of consciousness until finally, with the final strike, I believe it was from a nat 20 from Artemis on Firebolt. Yeah. Awesome shot. Took out the construct. However, in doing so, the only thing that was keeping party members up was a concentration spell of heroism from Uranus. And when that dropped, stable but unconscious, Grokus and Artemis lay on the cavern floor, and you, Uranus, were the only one left here in the Dwarven mine awake. So, as we start tonight's game, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to reach over and get some dice.
Ooh.
In the dice vault. Because we need a D4. And we're going to pick this lovely little guy. And we're going to roll a D4 to see how long it takes both Grokus and Artemis to come back to consciousness. So we're going to do Grokus first.
1 hour.
That's a 1.
Yes!
So Grokus, you'll come back after 1 hour.
Sweet.
Artemis, with no other help, you'll come back to consciousness after 3 hours.
Okay.
So here in the first hour, while Grokus, you are still unconscious, Uranus, is there anything that you want to do as you sit here waiting to see if your friends, they're breathing, you've been able to stop bleeding, but they haven't woken up yet?
Yeah, I think Uranus kind of just sits on the ground for a minute and breathes, because he's at 2 hit points and got hit, I think, twice from the fire breathing weapon thing. So he's like singed all over. He looks back to look at the hole to think about possibly just climbing through and finding a way back up. But also, if I fall, I'll probably knock myself unconscious, and who knows? So I forget who has the log thing.
That would be Artemis has the log.
I'm gonna, fish through and find the log thing. Kind of find a little like corner between some rocks. Put the log there. Drag both of them over to it. Lay their heads down on it. And then I'm going to use the little the cone of skinnying thing.
Yep.
I'm going to go to a little other outcropping of rocks where I can keep an eye on them, but I'm not directly by them. And I'm going to kind of snuggle in with the rocks, and then I'm just going to cast Minor Illusion, kind of just making it look like some more rocks are around them to obscure them a little bit. And I'm just going to keep casting that as a cantrip, just over and over.
Okay. It is busy work keeping that up, and anxious work indeed. Grokus, as you come to, can you make a quick perception check at disadvantage for me? You're blurry-eyed as you kind of
already
first look
rolling low
around.
last time. Come on now.
It's a new day. It's a new day.
Perception. Okay, well, let's see what that's going to be. Not very good. Actually, not bad though. So it's gonna be a 13.
13? Okay. You look about, and as your kind of eyes come open and start to blink and clear, your drift globe is not going currently. It's very dim light in here. You see Artemis lying with her head on the log next to you, unconscious. And as you do a quick scan, you don't see Uranus anywhere. But you see the giant kind of broken down carcass of the construct.
Still next to us. Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, a little ways away. Uranus had dragged you across, but you still do see it like across the cavern.
So I'm gonna go make sure that I'm gonna make sure that she's okay. That Artemis is fine. So I'm gonna still go kind of quietly go over there and check.
And as you get up and start moving, Uranus, you'd be kind of focusing. You'd see him starting to stir.
And I'm being kind of quiet because I still don't know what's all going on. I just know that Artemis is down there.
For sure.
So yeah, so I'm being kind of just quiet, just kind of.
You're up. You're okay. I take off the little cone thing and kind of come back to.
Okay. I put down like my my weapon because I had the warmer out. I was like, okay, well, lad, you're about to make me see my god for the third time tonight. Oof.
I think Uranus just nods and then passes out because he's just been casting that over and over.
Okay, so just from exhaustion, you just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And so we have the log out, right? So I do see the okay. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bring Uranus over to us. I'll make sure he's on the log as well because I take it where he fell. He's not on it, so I'm gonna try to drag him over. I'm exhausted too, so I'm gonna try to bring him over to the log as well, just making sure that they're both stable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get into the log, and then I'm too tired to do it. I'm gonna say a prayer. I'm gonna say just like a long prayer to Enarts about just everything, just like kind of pour my heart out, just especially what happened today. So say a long prayer. Definitely gonna pray for Artemis and Aramis as well, just for balance and things like that, and kind of just to help get us out of here if that's going to help keep balance of the world. So
yeah.
So I'm gonna just kind of just pray for like it's just a long time too until I pass out. Like, I'm probably just gonna pray until I go to sleep. So
yeah.
Just
go ahead and roll a religion check for me.
Oh, what's that gonna be? Okay, well, it's gonna be a fantastic 6.
Oh, we're gonna die.
But we're getting them all out early. We're getting the bad rolls out early.
Yeah.
You pray until you fall asleep, and it brings you comfort to say the words, to go through the repetitions, to put your intentions out there. But as always, it is a one-sided conversation. You don't feel the immediate presence of Enor. Even though you assume that your magic comes through worship of him, he's never directly spoken to you, and he doesn't here in this moment either.
So when I died before, I didn't. So I probably just imagined that I saw maybe when I almost died twice last time.
Yeah, you would have. You maybe, it's hard to tell. You didn't hear from him directly, and what you saw could have been Enor. It also could have been your own mind creating a scenario in that moment. The line between faith and the unknown is very, very squiggly, and takes faith to to have faith in some regards. The three of you sleep. And having gone to sleep willingly, the next person to wake up now by herself is Artemis, the only one awake. And you look and see your two companions stretched out with their heads on the log, dozing off next to you. And you've got a killer headache, and you can smell kind of the burnt clothes and everything from the encounter. but you are awake and you've got 1 hit point.
Fuck. Ah. I just look at Grocus and just check and make sure that he's okay, he's breathing, he's fine.
Snoring loudly.
Glance over at Aranis and just kind of whisper a small, like, thank you. And honestly, just go back to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you all intending to try to get a long rest here, or do you want to, attempt to wake up after an hour or so, just do a short rest and roll hit die? What's the plan?
Grogus is old, so he's just sleeping. Like he out. So he's
I'm thinking a long rest as well.
Yeah, long rest.
Okay.
Just passed out, gone to the world.
Sounds good. Can I get someone to roll a d20 for me? No modifier.
He wants to do it.
Oh well, I mean I can't roll bad like every single roll like last time.
Here's one. This is great.
All right, so 16.
Okay.
Okay.
17 or higher triggered a random encounter.
What? You're joking, right?
So the one time you roll high, it was almost a
roll
bad news.
Oh, that would have been so bad.
Great.
And our listen,
We're
okay?
good, though.
And
We're
our
good,
listen, so
Cool.
We're good.
In that case, time passes by, and you all begin to wake up one at a time within a few minutes of each other. You're not 100% sure how much time has passed. It's been at least, what we would consider 8 hours, because you're all feeling refreshed and back to full health and back to full spell slots and all of that good stuff. Sore and maybe a little grumpy, but
I'm definitely turning on the drip globe, like doing like casting that right now, casting light with the drip globe because it's kind of dark. So
sounds good.
Instantly casting that.
It immediately scatters these beautiful dark orangey brown shadows and light through the crystals all throughout the cave.
How are you guys doing?
Could be better. That was
Even
wrong.
worse. What is that thing? Do you know why it's down here? Why it attacked us? What it is, Grocus?
Sorry, lad. I haven't seen. I'm gonna go analyze it. I'm gonna kind of walk over and kind of just kind of look at it.
Yeah, go ahead and let's start with an investigation check here, just to kind of poke around it and try to see what you see.
I think I have one more bardic inspiration.
You're back to full because you got a full rest.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna use.
I should be. I'm
should
gonna save it. I'll save it because I got What was that investigation?
Yes.
So that's gonna be an 18.
An 18. Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
Anyone else who wants to roll investigation can, as well as you all maybe come over and start poking around it. But with an 18, even having not been around the dwarves for hundreds of years, and your memory being shaky of when you were a very young dwarf and before the society fell, you are recognizing the patterns, the make. There are runes carved into this that you can't always read. They seem to be archaic, but you're very quickly realizing that this is most certainly a dwarven made mechanism. With an 18, you also see the front kind of grill of sorts where the fire had been coming out has like hinges, and it opens up, and it's currently kind of just as it sits kind of canted, it's just kind of swung open, and you poke your head down there real quick, and you see some kind of like machinations, and it's like what looks like to be a little gem set deep in, but it's all dull and cold. There's a lot of just like blackened soot type area from where the fire had been spewing out, but it's cold at this point.
Could I take the gem? Could I attempt to take the gem out?
You can.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a dexterity check to reach in there and try to pry it out.
Aramis, can you give me a hand here? I'm not as limber as I used to be, but I want to. So I'm going to show him what I see. I'm going to show him inside there. I think you might be better able to maybe reach in there and grab it. I don't know if you can see. It's like a little stone.
It's not gonna hurt me or anything, is it? If I if I do this?
Honestly, lad, I'm not sure. I do not know. But so if you don't want to understand, I'll go for myself. But that is a good point. I'm not sure.
I'll give it a shot. Just straight dexterity or sleight of hand?
Yeah, I would say you could use sleight of hand on this.
And I'm gonna cast guidance.
Sweet.
So I'm gonna give you a pat on the back, but like if you appreciate it.
All right, +3 to sleight of hand. That's a 17, so dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You gonna use the guidance as well, or?
I mean, honestly, might as well because I can always cantrip. I'm just saying.
Cool.
Yeah, might as well.
So it's gonna be that's a D4. Yeah.
Dirty 20 +2, 22.
22. Okay. Deftly, you reach in using your two fingers like a pair of tweezers to kind of weave your way through a couple different, what looks like piping and whatnot that goes across, and you reach in and you pluck it, and you're surprised when you grab it that it just pops right out. There is a little bit of almost like a click or whatnot, like it was set in there, but it comes out very easily. As you pull it back out, you notice that it also has a setting that is attached to the bottom of the gem, and almost acted like a plug into whatever this mechanism was. It's a really good check. Go ahead and I'm going to say that in doing all of that, you're so quick and easily focused that I want to give you a perception check at the same time.
Okay. That is a 9. What's my perception? +4 is 13.
13. Okay. Yeah, 13 I would say is enough. As you're pulling it out, you're working it out and everything, and as it's finally coming, you're feeling real confident, and you just kind of take one last look around on the inside, and you see some sort of like scrawled writing, like on one of the metal panels on the interior. You can't read it like from here, like you just see like etchings, and it's really hard to see. But you catch like there is some sort of, and like you look and there's like it's in multiple places, kind of like built into the inside of this creature.
Can I minor illusion like just a rough kind of copy of it?
That's a really cool idea.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I will say before you can minor illusion it, like the perception check was to catch that there was something there.
Okay. Yeah.
You need to get your head in there, crane. Try to like actually see it better first.
Yeah.
So that would be, I'd say, we'll call it an investigation check. There's a physical aspect to this.
Yeah. If you tell us about this, are you relaying this? That there's something in there to us as well, to Grokus and Artemis? Or you're saying like, hey, there's.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying, hey, there's something in here while I'm trying to minor illusion it.
I'm gonna cast light inside there if I can, because I have that cantrip. I'm gonna cast like light inside there, see if we can help like make it easier to.
Awesome. I'm gonna say that gives you advantage on your investigation check.
That's really good because I have +0 to investigation. That is a 3 and a 19, so a 19.
Okay, here we go. You get a pretty good look at it, and they are runes that are like you. Well, let me ask you this: what languages do you speak?
Let's see. I speak Common, Elvish, and Infernal.
Okay, so you can't read the writing. But you do see it well enough, and you even just kind of like start your minor illusion and like build it while you're looking, almost just like tracing in the air with your hand. And pretty soon there is a block of text that is hovering in the air for all of you to see. Grokus, you speak Dwarvish?
Yes.
So you immediately can read this. It is Dwarven runes. It's Dwarven runes. And surprisingly, it's a spell. It's not one that you cast, but you're looking at it and looking at the, it's got all the information of how to cast it and whatnot, and you're realizing very quickly this is some sort of equivalent of a spell scroll, however, etched permanently into the interior lining of this creature.
Gorgas kind of takes a moment, kind of wipes his eyes because he hasn't seen Dwarvish writing, so it's like just being able to see it, like his people's writing up there, just kind of. So he takes a moment, just kind of get his breath because he's just so overcome with just seeing his own people's writing. So he takes a deep moment, kind of wipes his eyes, and so this is sorry, this dust or whatever, something, this air,
really dusty.
Yeah, it's
really dusty.
Yeah,
really dusty. So this is like a spell. It's like they etched it into it to cast somehow. I think it's
what spell is it?
That's incredible. Would I know kind of what spell it is?
Yeah, so you read through it and you go, oh, okay, this is not a spell that I would cast. This is arcane, and it is it's like an evocation spell. It's fire. You're kind of looking, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, this is a spell called Scorching Ray.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know what hit us. It was Scorching Ray. It's I don't know if you...
Artemis, make a Arcana check for me.
Because I was going to ask Artemis. I was like, Artemis, have you heard of something?
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Seriously, this is... Oh man.
16.
16, that's good. So a couple things immediately come to mind. First, you're like, Scorching Ray, I can cast that. You're like, that's arcane. That's my jam as a wizard. Second thing is you're like, well, that wasn't Scorching Ray that was hitting us. Like you were getting hit with a cone of fire. So there's a little disconnect as far as the actual spell and the effect that it had on you all. Go ahead and make one more check for me, Artemis. We're going to call this just a straight intelligence check.
Straight intelligence. Okay.
Could I give guidance on this?
Actually, you know what? No, we're going to call this an Arcana check because it is about the way spells interact with each other. So yes, it's an Arcana check.
Okay.
And yes, you can have guidance.
So give you guys, because I would have come up with you and asked, like, does this... Oh my gosh. Woof, that was high. I think it just was that...
So without guidance, 22. What do I roll for guidance?
D4.
4? I mean...
Yes. I'm just gonna be...
Here we go.
It's a cantrip. Why not?
That's 28.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
With a 28, what you're realizing here is that there is some sort of combination of spells and technology with this gem and the inner workings and the spell scroll being carved in, that whether the creature had other abilities that it didn't use, or perhaps the spells were being transmuted and used in different ways, something that charges it and then releases it in a different function. You're looking over the gem a little bit too. It's the same coloration of rock or crystal as the crystals that are in the room. And you're starting to piece the puzzle together a little bit and go, okay, there is some sort of connection between this crystal and the ability to focus, manipulate, transmute, spells and deliver them in a certain way. It's going to take more study than a quick look to understand exactly how it all works, but you're very much getting the sense that like there's a combination of technology and magic at work here to make this creature happen.
And the crystal that Arenas has, right? That crystal,
it's
right?
the same. Yep, it's the same kind of coloration, that dark orangey brown as the other ones.
I relay that to the group because, wow.
The other thing I'll point out real quick with your check is you do know that with a little translation help from Grokus, if you wanted to, you could copy this into your spell.
I was gonna say, I was gonna do that. I was just about to do it, no joke. I was like, let me write this down for you, Artemis, because I know she's studying that. So I was already like writing it down, like, okay.
Yep. Oh my goodness. So yeah, start scribbling.
So
Okay,
I'm
it'll
gonna start
take you
writing
about a
down.
half hour to do it, and get it right. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do
I-
that in the heart. If you guys don't mind, I'm gonna transfer this down because Artemis, I know. I mean, you can cast a lot of things. I think this might be hopefully maybe even helpful getting us out of here. So I'm definitely gonna just give me about half an hour. It'll be real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit and play some background music,
okay,
like lo-fi channel type thing.
yes.
Yes.
There we go. Gross just kind of vibes. It's like okay.
And so hip hop was born in the kingdom of Alson.
Oh my god.
I love
And
it.
as I'm writing too, I'm gonna be like, man, it's looks like my people are a little more, I guess, maybe advanced than I ever would have guessed. I mean, who would have thought? That's just incredible.
So then the question becomes, do we tell other people what's down here?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think any of this would be good in Cartwright's hands.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That and I don't want it to be lost forever. I mean, if there's any more of my kind, I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be in the wrong hands, of course, but I don't want it just to be, forgotten. I want some piece of us to kind of last. I mean,
Can I do some kind of check to see like how old the construct is? Like maybe if it's been down here on its own for a while, or if I can tell if somebody's been like maintaining it, or anything like that.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check for that.
Plus 0.
It's not something that you're really trained in, so it's not an easy DC, but go
come
for
on,
it.
that 20, come on.
Or I can ask Grokus to try to take a look at it in terms of that, because you're probably better than I am.
Is it because I'm old, man? I should just know how old I am. Okay.
You're not wrong.
Okay, Boomer.
Fine. Let me just see if I can see how old this machine is. I mean, it's metal. Okay. What is this going to be? Just a straight?
I'll give you advantage on this. I mean, you're trying to determine specifically dwarven things. Investigation.
Investigation.
Yep.
Okay. Well. Ooh, 19.
19. Plus anything?
No, just 19. Straight 19. Because I was like, is it perception? Yeah, so straight 19.
What you're noticing upon further inspection is a lot of areas of minor rust and kind of broken bits, and it's nothing that's like super obvious at first glance, but as you look over it more, you're seeing dents and scrapes and things, and like, oh, okay, this thing's like pretty not beat up, but scuffed up.
Worn, pretty well worn.
Pretty worn. There's like, where certain types of metal like would have a shine to them, like they're just dull at this point. So almost impossible to pinpoint exactly how old this thing is, but it does seem to be pretty old.
It's seen some. Well, she's definitely well worn. Definitely, it's I can't give like an exact date, but it's definitely seen some use. I mean, I feel bad whoever else may have, but maybe it wasn't always for destruction. I mean, it seems like it's capabilities for mining too. So maybe it wasn't always just meant to. Especially with the fire, I mean, for things like, because I know we crafted things as well, like, so maybe it wasn't always just used for violence.
I love this line of thinking. Go ahead and roll a history check.
Okay, not terrible. Okay, let's see. Okay, at 13. So
okay. Yeah, hard to tell. It is, other than the fire itself Basically what you're getting is that while this thing attacked you, like, there could very well be multiple purposes for these things. The fire, sure, it used to blast towards you, but could it be used for other things? The big bladed arms, well, sure, they were used to swipe at you, but they also allowed it to crawl, like, by sticking into the... So it's kind of like you're 50-50 on, like, is this a defender? Is it a tool? Like, you're not sure.
It's like, I mean, it could be, like I said, it might not necessarily just be meant to attack. So maybe this is a chance that it might not just be for destruction. I mean, because you see the way it can kind of crawl around to the claws and everything else. I mean, I just can't see it just being only for attacking.
Well, I was trying to see if maybe some of your people had been maintaining it, if we might find some more dwarves down here, but
I don't. From what I can see, it doesn't. This like I said, looks pretty well worn. Although I'd like to hope that maybe someone else will be down here, but I feel like if they were, somehow they would have known, they would have heard some of this going on. I feel like, especially when we were all sleeping too, I feel like they would have come down. But in regards to what you said before, I mean, yes, we shouldn't let them know, but I mean, at least we do know, and hopefully we can find more people we can trust and let them know about it. So I think, yes, we definitely not let Carway until I give him a speaking to, let him, definitely give him some balance and show him some balance. Until then, definitely we'll keep this between us. I mean, I know I only just met you, Uranus, but like the way you helped us just right now, which I do owe you my life for, by the way, like seriously, the way you protected Artemis when I failed to try to protect her, and Artemis, I do owe you more apologies I can ever give. But like, I trust this knowledge with you guys. Like, so.
What about Lovin? Do we think Lovin would know anything about the gem?
We can always try. I mean, he did have that other kind of dwarvish item too, so maybe he might.
How much do you trust him? That's the question.
I feel like he's better with us now, especially since we did help him a little bit. So hopefully,
since we helped him, I feel like he might be a bit more trustworthy than usual. But it's up to you guys. We can go back and study the gem more. We can go deeper in the mine.
I kind of want to go deeper just because seeing my people's stuff, but I mean, it's dangerous, so I definitely understand if you guys want to go back. I am. So either way, I'm fine with the decision. I've seen a lot already as it is to last me the rest of my lifetime, to give me some sense of history of the past. So either whatever you guys decide, if you want to go deeper, I'm more than down. But if you want to go back, I definitely understand as well.
Uranus is going to get up and dust himself off and say, I'm down to go find some more dwarf stuff.
I think I am too.
So your intention is to go deeper into the mine? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Oh, man.
This can only go well.
I know, I was like, this is like...
Oh, I got a nat 1.
I got a 2. I literally got a 2. Artemis, please.
Come on, Artemis.
10.
Okay.
10 isn't bad.
It's middle of the road. So you start poking around, and what you do notice is that there are indeed some offshoot tunnels from this tunnel. Now, the minecart path itself does not continue. It ended when it got to this main room. And as you start to look, you realize that the tunnels that are going down are not fully finished. They're not fully excavated. They do end after a while. And kind of upon checking a couple of them and whatnot, what you're piecing together is that this room, this may have been a fairly new mine. This room was certainly where they were focusing at the time when whatever happened and everything ended. And that, at least from what you've been able to find with those checks, There are no other really great options that don't include trying to do some digging of your own deeper in.
Can I hack off just a little piece of the ore on our way down?
You can.
Just,
Yep.
Smart.
Easy enough to do. You get kind of like a baseball-sized chunk.
Yeah.
That's very asymmetrical and kind of rough, but still, again, in its own way, in a quiet, kind of less flashy way, it's quite beautiful.
And Artemis did detect magic, right? So she already saw that it was like that the crystal itself was like has that aura of magic, right? Or
well, no, because your detect magic extended into the room a little bit, but I don't know that you've done one since then.
I'm going to. Okay, Artemis, if you want to, or I can. Maybe we should see if this is. I feel like it's going to be magical, but maybe we can just confirm. If you don't want to, I definitely can as well.
No, I can. It'll take about 10 minutes, but I can do it.
Oh, yeah, we could. Maybe we're kind of. I think we're at a dead end here anyway, so.
I play more lo-fi music.
Okay. So you're ritual casting detect magic?
Yes, I am.
Upon the 10 minutes going by and you reading out from your spell book, the place lights up like a firecracker. All of these crystals are emitting a magical essence. The essence you pick up is transmutation.
Oh.
It's not after you get over the initial shock of like this massive mound of crystals glowing, you do kind of like, as your eyes adjust a little bit, you do realize that like the level of spell coming off of it doesn't seem terribly strong. It's not like, like when you look at the little piece in Aranis's hand, it's glowing, just not very brightly. But it is a transmutation school.
Everything here is transmutation. I can't even comprehend the amount of magic that's here.
Wow, that's a little scary.
It makes me wonder about what happened to the dwarves more.
Yeah. It's a lot of
magic for a mind.
Transmutation.
So what could they have needed to turn into something else?
I mean, but maybe it could have been just like maybe transforming the rock to maybe mine easily. I mean,
possibly.
Could have
been. Artemis, can I get another Arcana check off of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh boy. 15.
15? Yeah, pretty good. Their line of thinking's not wrong. Transmutation can be used to change one item to another, so like a polymorph spell or whatnot. That being said, in the same way that evocation can be various things and conjuration can be, transmutation can be various types of things. It can be enhancing, it can be changing type of something, it could be changing the form of something. There's a lot of different applications for transmutation. That, it certainly doesn't exclude the idea that the dwarves were using this to transform items. Maybe alchemy, who knows, but there's also a lot of applications for it.
I'm not sure, Grokus. There's a lot that could be done with transmutation.
Yeah, I'm a little biased. I'm just trying to hope that maybe my people weren't, do anything too. But I mean, there's good and bad in everyone, right? So I mean, there could have been some bad dwarves too. So maybe I shouldn't be as worried and more focused on finding the truth of the matter anyway. So I have to admit, I am a little biased, so that sometimes does cloud my judgment.
I don't blame you.
Well, I feel like the truth has to be deeper then, right?
Just here, so, but
into the unfinished
down here, though, I mean, I guess we can probably go back. I mean, maybe to the library, see if there's something maybe in the history of the town or something that can maybe help us with that. But I think you're right, Ernest. Maybe we shouldn't keep it quiet though, just to make sure that especially the magic on here, because I'd hate to think what someone could use with it if they found a way to
Uh, yeah, we can go back and do some research. That might be more of Artemis's thing, but we can go.
What, you're not a big fan of reading, lad? I mean,
I'm more of a music guy.
I was gonna say, what kind of music? What do you call that kind of music too? It's a little. I haven't heard anything like that before.
I call it hip hop
Hip.
because it gets your hip moving and you just hop a little bit.
Lad, if my hip moves, that's not. I've never. No.
Okay,
Hip moving.
so you
That's
can
like.
can you do the
no,
hop?
I
The
can.
hip hop?
I can do the hop part, but the hip moving. It's happened a couple of times and months of hitting. Yeah, so I can do the hop, but
So it's hop for you, hip hop for everybody else. There we go. Okay.
hop music. Okay.
Hop. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I do like it. I'm just saying, I do. It's not bad. Not because the older music, I mean, not the classics, but it's not bad.
I'll play a classic song for Grokus, just to show him that I have range. Like
you pull out a classic ballad
right
from your repertoire,
Yeah.
and it rings throughout the cavern.
Oh, but that gives me an idea what we do, because you said you'd help me write a song maybe for Enner and for So
Right.
if we use that hippity hop, maybe we can reach to the younger generation. So we'll think about this later. But that's
We'll workshop something. Yeah.
Oh,
God,
boy.
the youth pastor vibes coming off of Grokus are so strong right now.
so we
I
best
love
way.
it.
Oh, this is gonna be a good way to get. Oh man, this is. But first things first, we need the truth, and then. Oh, this is great.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, do we find our way out of here somehow? Is that
So you are able to crawl back up through. There is the matter of getting back up the track.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
There was not an immediate solution to that. Now, you could certainly try something with the cart and see if there's a way to propel it. You do look and go like it's kind of treacherous at points, but you could certainly walk along the track. You'd be stepping rung to rung at times, especially across that large bridge area. But that is an option as well. So,
oh man.
Guess we're climbing.
Oh.
unless you also have like magical abilities or items that would help you in this moment, something like that.
Anything.
I can misty step.
You have the broom, don't you?
Oh, I do. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, come on, find the broom, find the broom in the inventory.
How much can the broom carry? I have an idea.
Let me double check.
That is a great question.
It can carry up to 400 pounds, but its flying speed becomes 30 feet.
Well, I was gonna say. I mean, I know I'm the heaviest. Okay, like I do eat well. If I can wear that hat and get skinnier and lighter, that can help ease the weight. So.
Oh,
Now you're thinking, girl.
yes.
Can I pat his belly? Just because I maybe need to eat a little bit less. But yes, so this I'll just take that. Okay.
I hand him the cone thing.
That's a damn clever solution.
Yeah.
Okay, so the two of you, Uranus and Artemis, can get on, and I would say that between the two of you, you were under 400 pounds. We'll hand wave it and say even with gear. Grokus getting on, doesn't seem to disturb the weight. He is light like a piece of paper. He's like a cardboard cutout of himself.
This feels really weird. The voice gets like monotone, right?
Yep.
Really.
There's no ability for the vocal cords to inflect. So yeah. As you begin flying back, I am going to say it's definitely over that 200-pound limit. So you're going a little bit slower, but still at like walking speed. Crocus, I would like you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh. Ooh, it's not going to be. Oh gosh, it's just a time. I was going to say time me down, but we already started going.
Oh snap!
Oh
That's
no!
going to be an 8.
An 8? Okay. So as you're going and picking up just the slightest amount of speed, the wind catches you, Grokus, and like a sail, it starts to pull you back, and you're trying to grab on, and then your hands come free, and whoo, you kind of go floating.
No.
Can I use Mage Hand to grab him?
Yeah, because Mage Hand can pick up. How much can Mage Hand pick up?
I think it's like 5 pounds.
And I'm light because how light does it make me?
Yeah, you're like. I mean, it doesn't actually say how light it makes you, but I would say Mage Hand could at least kind of drag you a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll drag him.
Make a dexterity saving throw to get Mage Hand out there and grab him.
Oh my god.
What do I have for saving throws? +2.
Come on.
That's a 10, so 12.
12? Okay. Your Mage Hand goes out and it just pinches the toe. And Grokus, you're kind of like now floating and falling a little bit and like flapping back, and like your foot is being held up.
Pull me back in.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
be sick.
I'm gonna try to pull with
slowly, just kind of pull him back, and you bring the broom back around and kind of collect him back up onto it, and yeah, are able to continue on your way.
Can someone hold me, please, and not make it awkward? But I need someone to hold me down.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold onto him, so Artemis can steer.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
Artemis is just like, what the hell is going on? What is happening?
It's fine. Everything's fine. We're good.
Remember, if we wanted to test the kite theory, yes. So you can't be floating like a kite. I think I'm going to throw up. Oh gosh.
Just do it. Do it back.
Would throw up be like if
I was just gonna say, what is it? What's the 2-dimensional vomit look like? Let's say we don't find out here.
Yeah.
I kind of hold it in.
Okay, so you all make your way back up to the top, and when you get to the entrance, you notice that it is still dark. And doing a little bit of math in your head, it would have just gotten dark, and then you did an 8-hour rest. It's probably, well, I would say it's dark, but it's just like the first bits of dawn are starting to come on. It's very early in the morning. And yeah, there's a little bit of light coming, and you know you'll get more light as you head back to town, but you've spent the whole night dealing with the mines for sure.
Hat off. Well, that felt weird. Here's a hat bag. Never want to do that again.
It kind of grows on you.
Yeah, I'll lose weight the old-fashioned way, you know. You youngins can use your little magical, I'm a get skinny quick things, but I'm gonna do the old-fashioned way. Oh my god, I'm gonna check out Schubert. So I'm gonna pull out Schubert, make sure Schubert's okay.
Schubert, I'm gonna say Schubert didn't really notice a difference.
Okay, perfect.
Schubert doesn't have that much intelligence to know.
You okay, buddy? Okay. We're good. Schubert is okay. All right. So at least we made it back. It's morning's about to hit, it looks like, at least. Can I do a perception check to see if anyone's around us?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for
it. 8. Everything looks good. I don't see anyone around.
You don't.
No. Everything's fine.
So yeah, what's the plan? Do we go to a library? Do we go to Lovin?
I mean, you know it better than us. Like, would it be the best? I mean, if Lovin you feel is trustworthy, I'll go with your judgment. I mean, I think you know better than me and Artemis, being new here, what might be the better?
I think Lovin's a good bet. We can just figure out what this rock does. I don't know if he'll be up yet, but maybe by the time we get back into town, he'll be setting up shop somewhere.
Perfect. And make sure you just keep that kind
I
of
will
hidden.
say, just for the sake of your planning, if you recall, Lovin did say he was potentially going to head out of town.
Oh yes, he did.
In order to get away from people. So yeah.
Oof.
And I believe you also inquired about a library at one point, and you were kind of laughed at. Like it's a really teeny tiny place.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And there's no church.
No church. Yeah.
Going to be rough.
Okay.
I mean, are
ooh,
we supposed to report the findings to that the bartender? But how do we know that he's not? This is tricky.
Yeah, you had signed your contract with Gull for a share of the mine, and in doing so, committed to sharing the findings, percentages of profits and whatnot. There, it's about an hour walk back to the town. Are you having this conversation while walking, or are you kind of doing
Yeah,
this first and then heading off? Okay.
I'd say while we're walking, probably.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do we report? We have to tell them something. Do we tell them about getting through the hole or through the blockage? Because if we tell them that, they're going to send more people.
I mean, if they don't ask, there's nothing to really tell. I mean, the main thing we have to give them is just a piece of what we've gotten from there. So I don't want to lie, but I mean,
Can I chip off a smaller piece of the hunk I had?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we'll just give them this sliver and say that's all we can find.
mm-hmm. Say maybe that's what we found down there. So it's not a lie. So we found this, and then let
Are
them
you
do what they
concerned
will.
with lying? You don't like
It's-
lying, Grokus?
I mean, I feel it kind of disturbs balance. I mean, everything kind of flows, and lying is it's kind of it goes against balance. It kind of tips things and to things more unfavorable, to things not as just. So no, I don't particularly like lying. So at least this way we aren't lying. We're telling, hey, we found some of this.
Aranis kind of just makes a face and keeps walking.
What is that? What is that face supposed to mean, lad? What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I
I
just,
mean,
you know,
it's okay. You can say what you need to say. It's okay. I mean,
sometimes it's necessary, and
We're
it does.
telling
Maybe it
we're
restores
telling you
balance in another way.
truth.
That's true. Yeah.
All right.
All right. As you're walking, dawn continues to come up, and by the time Grispen Hills is back in sight, it's still got that very early morning, kind of slightly tinted blue kind of feel to everything. But there's enough light that it's to see daylight wise. As you're walking up towards the town,
oh, and we have it hidden. I'm gonna make sure, like, hey, make sure you keep that stuff, like, tucked in, like, yeah.
Yeah.
sounds good. As you're walking up towards the town, when you first approached the town, Grokus and Artemis, you heard, people going about their day and everything like that, and you saw people walking. As you're approaching it now, it's quiet. You don't see anyone immediately, like crossing or whatnot. You're still a ways away, and whatnot, but it seems very still here in the morning. And Aranis, you would also be kind of surprised by this because, like, living here is hard work. You got to get up early in the morning. You got to make hay while the sun shines, sort of thing. And for no one to be out and about at this point is kind of surprising.
Hmm.
Is it so cold?
Yeah, this is weird.
Is it normally this quiet sometimes? Is there some sort of celebration or something? Or okay.
People are usually setting up shop at this time. It's unusually quiet right now. Can I do a perception check to see if anybody is watching us?
Yep, go for it.
I'm gonna do Eyes of the Grave, make sure there are no undead around. Just
Okay.
yeah. So
What's the range on Eyes of the Grave?
I'm 60 feet.
Okay, yeah,
So
I
my
mean
eyes, you
you're
see the
several
whites of
hundred
my
feet away
eyes.
from the town
Oh,
right
fuck,
now. So
when we
yeah.
get closer, when we get closer.
Okay, so when you get closer to like building range, okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. I'll let you know.
That's a 12 plus 4, 16.
16. You kind of try to peer, and you do see some people standing on porches. See a couple of folks like leaning, against. So it's not like everybody's gone. Just people are not walking about, and it's very quiet. You don't hear any music coming from the tack and trim or anything like that. No horses are out about. Yeah, it's just very still. As you all get closer, and Grokus, you start to get within range of buildings and stuff, you do not immediately sense any undead. I'll let you know if that changes.
Okay.
Can I walk up to somebody and just ask them what's up?
Yeah.
Like somebody on their porch?
As the three of you come into the main square, or the main road, and start to walk, there is not need to walk up to someone because people on porches begin turning to you. And they're not the townspeople. The first person who turns, you recognize as the woman who had been harassing Lovin before. And she's holding a crossbow. She's holding a crossbow. And she trains it on you all. You turn and look to the side, and you see two other men step out of one of the other buildings, also crossbows trained. Your eyes go up, and you see someone on a roof, the gnome figure from before with a crossbow trained. As you now take stock and you look around, and there are none of the townspeople out about. You see about 7 or 8 of Cartwright's gang lining either side of the street, crossbows trained on you. And you just hear the woman kind of say out, "It's about time you all got back."
Oh, you're here to discuss about inner and balance.
Okay.
Shut up. Cartwright's waiting for you.
Perfect. We can
Come along. Throw those weapons on the ground first. And everybody kind of raises their...
That's fine.
Oh, man. Cartwright himself is expecting us.
The boss himself. Weapons on the ground.
That's good. We can tell him about balance anyway, so this works out.
I'm gonna slowly lower my weapons and just kind of keep talking. You know what Cartwright wants? What's going on here? Where is everybody?
You're the one with the smooth tongue. Keep it up. I'm going to put a bolt right in it.
I'm going to stop talking to not make it worse.
Do you all relinquish your weapons?
Yeah, I'll put down, yeah. It's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
One of the other men from across, human man, comes over and gathers them up and then kind of gives you a shove in the back, and they kind of file in around and behind you and begin to march you down the main street. They bring you to the tack and trim. Something you wanted to do before then?
I'll save it. Nope.
I was gonna ask them if they even know about Enter as we're walking down. Just keeping just asking them about Enter and balancing that nature. So
the little gnome kind of looks up at you and goes, "Keep talking about him, and I'll send you to meet him."
I'm just asking the other people. I mean, I know you already do not. I'm just seeing if anyone else, because there's people walking with us, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I was talking to them. So I'll just think of any of them. I know you do not as of yet, but I was thinking of any of your compatriots might, maybe heard of them. That's all.
You don't get any other reply. They lead you to the front doors and kind of give you a push, and the woman goes in ahead of you, and the door kind of is swung open just about halfway. And they give you a little bit of a nudge and say, "Don't keep him waiting."
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to walk in first.
Okay. As you walk in, the scene set before you. The tack and trim looks much like it normally does, except there are no patrons, and there are a few of the gang members in here, kind of sitting around, weapons trained and ready. You see knives, swords, crossbows. In the center of the room, a table has been set up. Leaning against the table, sitting on the floor, with his hands bound, is Gull, the half-orc tavern owner. And as you look briefly, you see a bloodied nose. You see a broken-off tusk. black eyes. His shirt seems to be ripped. He has been beat to a pulp and is just sitting here, breathing heavily. On the other side of the table, the woman walks up to a man that is seated with his boots kicked up onto the table itself. And Uranus, who you recognize, and the two of you see for the first time, is a burly man, barrel-chested, thick, muscular, almost like a bodybuilder, like one of those like strongmen bodybuilders who, like, you know, it's not tone, it's just mass type of things. He's wearing a big dark cloak. He's got gray hair that's been cut military style, like it's very tight to him, which is fairly uncommon in these areas. There's a lot of upkeep that goes into, like, there aren't barbers everywhere. And he doesn't have a beard, but he's got like grizzled kind of stubble on his face. And you notice a scar that starts at the nostril and splits the nostril itself and then goes up the cheek right underneath the eye. And he has these big black boots on, and as you come in, he turns towards you all and cracks a smile and just says, well, well, well. Bard?
Right.
Where'd you find these fun folk?
Oh, you know, around, just here and there. You're looking as pretty as ever.
Takes the boots off, steps, and stands up with a deep thud, and begins to walk towards you all. Boom, boom, boom. Uranus is pretty tall. He stands an inch or two taller, and he's broad. And he kind of comes over to you all, looming over top of Grokus and Artemis. Is like, kind of looks at Artemis and just raises an eyebrow and then moves straight to Grokus. And he kind of leans down a little bit. I thought they were lying. Was certain of it.
Yes, his good looks are a blessing. Oh my God! So yes, they weren't lying about that.
A real dwarf. Full-blooded, it looks like. Only a couple 100 years old. You're a curiosity, my friend.
How so?
Are you from some mystical, magical place where there's hundreds of your kind?
It could be, right? I mean, if I'm here, is that not a possibility?
Stranger things have happened. Kind of leans back and gives you a very pointed look, Uranus. And then turns and walks back and he starts to speak. So Gull here tells me that you all were at the mine. What'd you find?
A lot of rocks. A lot of rocks.
So
More
many
rocks. And then some weird
Like we
beetle
were in a
things.
cave.
Make a deception check.
Dude, because
From who? From all of us?
I'll say one person. Yeah, pick someone to roll it. Yeah.
But I mean, we did find beetles, so I mean, technically, like, we did find the beetle thing. There were lots of rocks. So.
It's a lie by omission, Blake.
I think I probably have the highest deception.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So yeah, we'll see. +6.
I'm telling Vlad, I'm gonna pedal it back, do a quick like bless spell, pedal
Oh,
it back,
that's not
like
a
tell
good
him.
face.
That's a 6, so that's a 12.
A 12.
Plus, I blessed him too because I was like, hey, tell him what we found. Tell him before he talks,
Sure,
give him a little pat on the back.
So what is that? Another D4?
D4.
D4, yep.
Okay, we're at 12. That's a 4, so 16.
Whew.
16. Okay. He goes back and sits back down. Well, that's to be expected in a mine. Lots of rocks.
Indeed.
And those beetles too. Those are a little not scary, but I mean, they were kind of oof.
They were kind of gross, weren't they?
They were really a different kind of gross. Yeah, just the size of your head. I mean, you have a big head, and they were the size of your head. So, whew, just you might not want to go down there anytime soon. Just a real infestation.
I don't plan on going down there. That's not my job.
Good. That's perfect.
You know,
Awesome.
the other thing that I heard that was just as interesting, if not more so, is that you fucked with my people.
Fucked with. I mean, that's a strong word for what happened. We just kind of redirected.
We had a conversation. I mean, we talked about Enor. They obviously weren't too inclined to, which I don't know if you are yourself, but if you are, let me know. Definitely love talking about it. So we
He
did have a
kind of reaches
conversation about
back
that.
and pulls out a small dagger and spins it in his hand and boom, slams it hard into the table. And like
not
that's the
necessary.
extent of his expression. Like he still just keeps looking at you like real calmly.
I'm gonna look over at the lady that we fucked with, and I'm gonna say, "You don't think we fucked with you, right? We're good." And I'm just gonna like give her a wink, like
Because they got the money. Because they ended up getting the money right from the situation.
they did
still
get the
end up
money.
They still get the money. I think did we help chip in or anything? I don't know. Either way, they got the money. I think
They did
if I
get the
remember
money.
correctly.
I remember hearing them say that they said that they remember hearing you say something about balance. Is that right? That seems to be your thing. I think I've heard it even now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Balance is important. Balance is very important. You see, our arrangement here with the people of this fine little town is a balance. It's one that I rather like. And when you come in and start fucking with my people, it upsets that balance, friends. And I don't like balance being upset. You can
Well,
tell, right? You can look at me and tell that I'm not liking this. You can tell I'm upset. Yes.
Yeah. I'd say so. I mean,
very expressive face, honestly. Like so good. But what was really fucked with? I mean, you got your money. Isn't that what you were after?
It's not about money. It's about respect.
well, I do apologize if we showed any signs of disrespect, sir. So I mean, I do apologize for that because, like I said, I may have a meta balance, and I do not want to upset the balance. So I do apologize if we kind of upset that. It wasn't the intention.
Here's what's going to happen.
Hmm.
We're going to take our respect out of the hides, and he points towards Gull, of the folks here. And you, he points to you, Uranus. And you, and he points to you, Artemis. You're going to leave. And I'm never going to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
And he spins the dagger and points it towards Grokus. And you. Well, my boss is interested.
Cool.
So you're going to stay.
I can't because I'm with someone, Artemis. Yeah, So I do apologize.
You misunderstood. You. It's my fault, really. I wasn't clear enough. You're not going anywhere, and it's not a choice.
You see, that's not going to work for me.
He stands back up, starts to walk over towards you. The woman flanking him walks closer towards you all. He reaches a hand, just kind of pats Uranus on the shoulder. Some fine friends you found here. And then, boom, the left hand comes in and right in the gut just hits you hard. It is like a meat hammer just coming in, and it doubles you over. You lose your breath for a moment, and as he's doing this, he's looking right at you, Artemis, the entire time. And he just holds you. Now the hand that was on your shoulder is holding you down, bent over halfway as you kind of suck for air. And then he lets you up.
Still got it. Still got it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're going to be back tomorrow at dawn. When we come back, we expect a few things. We expect the two of you to be gone. We expect you trussed up and ready to go. And I expect this town, and he like now projects so that his voice is going out into the streets, to remember its place. Let's go, Mary. And the woman comes with him, and the rest of the people stand up. As he starts to leave, he's, oh, one more thing. And he makes a hand motion, and you see one of the thugs that's passing by Gull just reach out and kick him in the face with his boot.
Casting healing word, so I'm going to quickly say, are you okay? It's a quick healing word.
Okay.
Just as he gets that, so.
Okay. Roll a... Are you being obvious that you're casting a spell, or are you trying to disguise it in any way?
Well, because he kicks him, is he knocking him down? Because I'm going to kind of just when
he kicked him, he knocked him over.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, you're okay? Yes, I'm going over to just kind of touch him. Oh my gosh, that looked like it hurt. So it's all this vocal. So I'm going to be saying that as kind of...
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you kind of rush over, and they don't pay it any mind. And Cartwright just goes, that'll help him remember. And then out the door, and you hear them get on horses. And you hear boots that are kind of leaving the grounds in various areas, people coming down off roofs that were kind of up there stationed. And pretty soon you hear the sound of hoofs as they ride away.
Oh, God.
Are you okay?
Yeah. We ask if Goal is okay.
I'm going to do healing word on Goal. I'm going to do healing word on So I'm going to do another healing word on Goal.
I've been better. He's like trying to speak, but his mouth is all swollen.
That's going to be a 3 plus 6 health. That I'll cast. If I still see his damage, we'll do it again. Because
he's still sore, but you see the some of the cuts kind of heal up a little bit, and he seems to be breathing a little bit easier now. That was they got here maybe a few hours after you all had left for the mines, and well, they spent the night. I think I was... I don't know if I was the only one that they worked over, but...
I'll go check on everyone. I'll check around, see if there's anything to heal.
Various folks around the town are reporting when they first came in. So the Brightwoods, Thomas and Elsa, who run the general store, the windows are shattered to their store. Some things have been tipped over. Thomas was struck as he tried to stop people. Various other people have, got shoved out of the way, and minor wounds and whatnot. Gull seems to have taken the brunt of their ire as they set up shop here in the tack and trim.
Can I go get our weapons first of all? Hopefully, they've just been.
Yeah,
sitting.
so those were, you find them kind of just discarded out on the street. When you all went in, someone just kind of tossed them off to the side.
Just dropped one. Whoops.
I'm gonna grab my warm. I'm gonna look at both Artemis and Aramis and be like, hey, you guys don't need to stay here. I don't plan on going with them, at least not alive, but I am going to do what I can to restore balance, because that is not balance. Balance is not by force. Balance is natural. Balance belongs to everybody, and that's not how you do balance. So I don't plan on going with him alive. But I will do everything in my power to make sure I stop whatever he's trying to do. So, but you guys do not need to stay, especially Artemis. I mean, I do thank you for all the travel. That's been the best time in my life. Honestly, I did not have to be alone anymore, and I will never be able to repay you for that. And Ernest, you helped us out so much already. You need to get that hippity music out to the world, because more people need to discover that, because it is pretty good. But I can't ask you guys just to stay here for me, but I am going to do whatever I can to stop that, because that's not balance. So I'm fine staying.
I'm staying. Where you go, I go. Right now.
But
no, I'm leaving.
Uranus has a very dark look on his face. He's like, yeah, let's get some balance. I think Cartwright needs to go. first of all.
I'm inclined to agree.
And maybe we can. I'm going to see if we can talk to the people. I'm going to just go around talking to people because, like, trying to see if we can get maybe. I don't want to risk their lives. I'm going to tell them like, hey, if you can, what we're planning to do, and if they can do anything to maybe help. I mean, not to put their lives at risk, but just to let them know that what we plan on doing.
Yeah.
So in case if they want to leave or they want to help, just so they know that something's going to happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the reaction that you're getting as you talk to people is one of, obviously they very much agree with you that they would love Cartwright gone, but they don't know you. They don't see this as a solution. You start talking of fighting back and they're fearful. They're worried that they're just going to be slaughtered by these, tougher, more well-armed.
Rennis, maybe
bandits.
you know these people better than I do, so maybe if you talk to them, I mean, I'm kind of just the old traveler coming in. So maybe if you talk to them,
Well,
someone that they know.
I'm wondering what info anybody might have on Cartwright, or like where his base is or anything like that, because I think right now is the moment when they're least expecting anything. They've just given us this threat. They think they're good at least until tomorrow. So
That's
if
a
we
good
can
point.
find out where they're at, I can probably get in there and we can find a way to get close.
And they live by horseback too, so I mean they can't be too extremely far. I mean, if there's any stables around if we can procure a horse, I mean it's not a bad idea.
Can I ask Goal if he has any information, if he knows anything?
Yeah, so you ask around, and no one has seen Cartwright's base of operations. As people start to put their heads together, there is an idea of they've got to be within a couple hours because they tend to come and go sometimes at a moment's notice. And you even know, just hearing him, say that like it was a few hours after you had left that they got back. So they would have had to, at the most gone, told Cartwright, come back with everybody. So it can't be terribly far that, time wise. And you know what direction they left town. But it's a compass heading and a rough timetable. There's no guarantee that you're gonna quite find it with that, but it's a start.
Okay.
I mean, so if we could find them, I mean, like I said, we could get the drop on them. We'd have to know. I mean, I'm not the best at tracking. I mean, sure, the horse probably left trails, but I'm not. If we can we just see if we can even follow that first and foremost and go from there.
Yeah, can I ask around and see if anybody knows anything about tracking who might be willing to help us?
Yeah, so asking around, let me take a quick look at our lovely little folks in the town. Probably the best person to ask as you talk to people would be Imladar. He's an young elf man who's kind of the stable hand for everything, and just kind of naturally being the one who works the most with the horses. He's got the best sense of how to track them. And so, yeah, you ask around and people point you in his direction. If you go to the stables, you see him working there. He's a very thin, kind of short elf man. Usually elves are a little bit taller. He stands a little bit shorter. He's got kind of like it's very, very pale, almost albino type skin, with very long hair that he has dyed purple, and it gives this kind of very ethereal kind of look to him. It's very kind of out of place in regards to everybody else in the browns and the tans and the the dust of the area. It's not quite a drow, but yeah, kind of stands out in that regard. And he turns and sees you all come in. And is like, oh, heard what happened. So sorry. You all right?
In regard, yeah, I mean, it happens. We were actually wondering if you could help us. We're trying to figure out where Cartwright went.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not to fight. I can't fight. No.
Yeah, no,
No.
lab. We do. I do. That's the last thing I want. Because don't. I don't mean to. We don't mean to put you in danger. But if you could, were you able to see tracks? Well, I know you were with horses. I mean, if you can just point us. If you can see, if you can tell maybe which direction they took off in, and maybe where they might have headed, that would be more than enough. If you feel comfortable enough, just showing us that. We don't mean for you to get into any sort of fight or anything else of that nature.
You're going to track him?
Yes.
If we can, Aramis had the brilliant idea of if we get to him before, maybe, surprise him, essentially, is what we plan on doing when they least suspect it. So, let's see.
Kind of thinks for a minute. Go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
You.
Whoever rolls it has advantage because the group is working together.
Well, I mean, who wants to?
I have +8, so
I was gonna say. I was like, I'm not gonna say who wants to.
It's the bard's thing. Yep.
I got a 2 and a 7, so 15.
15. Okay. All right. He thinks for a minute, and kind of, you see him kind of like stroking the side of his neck, and you notice now there's like a bruise, like kind of like an impact, like right where the neck meets the shoulder.
Grispen?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass healing word as soon as I see something. I'm gonna pass healing word on that.
And as he's rubbing it, all of a sudden he's like, "Did you just?"
Yes, lad. I saw that. So I didn't notice that earlier.
No, one of them. Yes, I was working, and one of them came up behind me. Let me get you horses. I can show you where they left, and perhaps help get you on the right direction.
Thank you. I'm more than grateful for that. Seriously, thank you so much.
They've already got a head start. We need
And
to move
if anything
quickly.
happens on the road, you can.
Yes, very true, very right.
Okay, and he begins working quickly to get 3 what look like some of the faster horses, kind of the more slender ones, kind of ready for you all. And you notice he's actually getting a 4th ready as well. And once he's got them all kind of hitched up and have saddles on and everything, he leads them out to you. There are 2 kind of light brown tan horses, and then one that is got it's more of like a dark black with little bits of white in the mane, for the 3 of you. And then he's got one as well that's another brown and tan horse. And you see him mount up on his, and then quick pick. They're all friendly.
Oh, all right.
Grabbing the black horse.
Okay, Artemis goes for the cool looking one.
I go for one of the.
Okay, yeah, the other 2, the brown and tan horses, you grab. Grokus riding a full-size horse is a little much, but you are able to do it without too much of a problem. A halfling or a gnome might have more of a problem, but you stand a little bit taller. So you're able to get on, and he leads you out to the edge of town. And when you get there, you see both Thomas Brightwood, the shop owner who had been beaten, as well as Gull, standing there kind of at the edge of town waiting for you. And you kind of come up to them, and Gull kind of flags you down. He's still looking a little rough, healed, but that broken tusk is going to need time to grow back, etc. And he's like, "Right, we know you're headed out there, and we can't ask this of you. Please know that we're not, like, if you want to walk away, this is the town's problem, not yours."
No.
Balance is everyone's problem, especially when it's interrupted the way that it is. So, and the only way we can fix balance is by, from what I've studied, at least, is by working together and trying to do anything we can do to restore it. So,
Right.
it's definitely something I take as my problem if it's your problem. So,
This is my home.
Figured you might say that. Imladar, get off that thing. He's like, "What?" You're like, "Get off." And the boy kind of gets off a little intimidated by Gull, and Gull grabs him. And now as Gull steps forward, you see strapped to his back, just like along the back of the waist is like this short sword that he has strapped there, hidden behind him. And he mounts up on Imladar's horse. He's like,
I thought I was gonna stab him. I was
plot twist.
I was like,
Plot
no.
twist. Wow.
Okay.
He's like, right,
Okay.
well, Imladar, point us where we need to be. It's my home too. I'm not letting you do this on our accord.
Cool.
Besides, he kind of rubs that spot where the tooth was broken off. I got some payback that needs to be delivered.
Hell yeah.
Heck yes.
Can I pull out the little sliver and say, do you? I know it's a big ask and on short notice, but do you know anything about this?
Where'd you get it? I don't know what it is.
We got it from the mine. It's just a piece of magical rock. We know it's magical and transmutation.
He takes it from you and flips it down to Thomas. He's like, Thomas, ask around. Maybe send some people back down there. See what we can find. If there's something we can use.
Yeah, it might be useful. And Artemis said, hopefully you have that spell. That it'd be a good time to test that new spell too, Artemis. I mean, maybe looks like it might come in handy pretty soon.
Right. I cast Scorching Ray.
Oh, well, not now. I mean, well, wait. I like to steer past. No, not now.
Just off into the air. I won't let you. I won't have you waste the spell slot on that. You're good, but you do have it ready. All right. So Imladar talks to Gull real quick and kind of points out the direction they went. Gives him a couple pointers of what to look for as far as tracking the horses, and then the four of you mounted up and revenge on your minds. Take off after Cartwright's gang as you attempt to overtake them and stop them in their tracks before any more harm can be done. And that's where we're going to end the session today.
Oh man.
Oh.
I want to get him so bad.
I love this. I was not anticipating a
Man.
chase, but I'm excited for this. This is going to be
It's okay, guys. I got one first level spell slot left. We're good.
Well, no,
I got someone-
everybody got full rests, remember?
Oh,
So make sure you hit that
okay.
full rest button in your sheets, because you should, for the most part, be pretty.
But I healed
charged
two
up.
people though, at least, right? 'Cause I
Oh,
think I
that's
healed-
right, you did.
So,
Yep.
yeah, so at least two. So at
Yep.
least,
So you did burn some stuff there.
at least
For sure.
so at least I should have at least I think two left. I think then. So
Okay.
first level. So my second level spells.
There
It was
we go.
worth it. Healing. That's what I need to do. So I'm a cleric.
Yeah. You might need it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for part 3. We will be back next week with the epic conclusion to our story.
Oh man.
Until then, please follow the First Watch, like, subscribe, share, all those good things. And we'll see you out on the trail.
Wish us luck.
Yes, they're gonna need it. They're gonna need it. But you got gold. You got yourselves an ally. So we'll see where this goes. All right. Till next time.